Kia ora, Matapelo here, bringing you the latest weather information. What's happened today? Well, there's been plenty going on, lots of rain and showers all over, especially in these eastern parts and up here in the north. We've also had a few lightning strikes out there, which are still expected for the rest of the afternoon. Elsewhere, just a little bit of clouds, but plenty of clear skies in parts of the South Island. So what we're expecting for the rest of today, as we mentioned, still those showers with possible thunderstorms continuing up north. But down here is where the interesting weather is. We are seeing this front continuing to move northwards and even bringing a bit of snowfalls in quite elevated areas. Up north, we are also seeing these strong winds, which do come into play over the next coming days. So speaking of those winds, we've currently got a few strong wind watches out. That is for parts of Canterbury and into the ranges of Marlborough. Over here up into the Tararua district as well as southern Hawke's Bay. Those are for Friday. And then up here, up in Auckland and the Coromandel Peninsula, we see those strong winds into Saturday. We also have some road snowfall warnings in place. These two down here for the Milford Road as well as the Crown Range Road are for today, Thursday. Further north for Arthur's Pass and Porter's Pass, those are in the overnight hours into Friday morning. And similarly for the Desert Road very early on Friday. So do check metservice.com for those details. So looking at the overnight period, we see that front continuing northwards, a bit of rain down here in the lower North Island and that snow in the central part of the North Island as well. Down here, we see these westerly winds and this next front bringing in some wet weather down that west coast that is going to be a theme into tomorrow. And that front also into the early hours brings in some brief light rain for the far south. So looking at the temperatures overnight, it is going to be a chilly one out in the South Island. We've got those fronts moving through. So plenty of cloud with that as well. And here in the North Island as well, even though we've got some cloud cover, it is a southwesterly flow. So that is keeping those temperatures a little bit on the chilly side. So let's have a look at what we are expecting tomorrow, starting with the North Island. Those winds are starting to pick up and we see a bit of a break in the weather, the showery conditions for the first part of the day up north. But as the day goes on, especially out here in the west, we are expecting those showers to come through once again, possibly even heavy by the end of the day. Up towards the Bay of Plenty and these far northern areas, we are actually expecting a pretty good sunshiny day on Friday for the first part of the day. But then again, by the end of the day, a little bit more cloud coming through over there. Down here in the east, mostly just some high cloud, but those winds will be the thing to keep an eye on for tomorrow. And we do have that watch for strong winds out in the east. Then for the South Island, we've got that front that moves through very early in the morning. So just some brief rain expected out there. But down the western coastal areas and down here in the far south, it is going to be quite a wet day. We've got all sorts of different types of precipitation, rainfall, possible hail with some thundery activities down the west and the far south, and possible snowfalls by the end of the day in the far south as well. We've got some snowfalls for Southland and Clutha down to 500 meters at night and overnight into Saturday morning. And then for Central Otago, that snowfall down to about 700 meters. So do check your local forecasts for more details with regards to that. Having a look at temperatures for the North Island tomorrow, we see it's another very mild day. Those temperatures in the mid to lower teens for some areas. Taupo, nice and chilly there at 13 degrees. But out here in the east, where we're not expecting as much rain or showers out there, we've got Napier still warm at a maximum of 20 degrees. Down in the South Island, a very similar story, maybe a little bit chillier in those inland areas. Queenstown going only a maximum of 12 degrees and similarly out in the central parts of Canterbury. But again, closer to the eastern coastline, Christchurch at a nice 18 degrees. Looking ahead into Saturday, the North Island, you see that very colorful image there. That is spelling quite an unsettled Saturday ahead. It is going to be windy. It is going to be showery, rainy, more of an indoor kind of day on Saturday. But down here in the South Island, that's how the day starts out. But as the day goes on and certainly into Sunday, we do start to see a bit of an improvement in those weather conditions. Sunday generally brings some improving weather for all, except down here in the western part, that spells a wet start to next week. But that's all I have for you for today. Matewa.